Hi, it is Saturday, September 24th, 2022. Well, um, life is good. Um, I I'm working on things, the last several years has been tough. I've had a lot of emotional healing to do, and I've had a divorce to navigate. Um, so I've been kind of trying to get out of the shitter financially. And where I sit right now, I feel like the future looks good, man. On a personal level. Now the world is still collapsing around me, and of course the problems in the world continue to escalate, and it looks pretty bleak, especially with the provocations with Russia and China and the U.S. Of course, conflict between those nations is really something that can happen because of the existence of nuclear weapons. So they're going to be forced to the table. They will be forced into discussion. They will be forced into empathy. And because it will be forced, of course, it will be so much more painful and more difficult than it would have been had they been reasonable people from the beginning. I really try hard in this life to be a good guy. I'm not trying to hurt other people. Um, there is such a thing as a sacrifice, and there are times that I take actions that I believe might hurt someone, and I do it because I believe it's a worthy sacrifice for the sake of a greater good. And if it's ever in my power to make it up to that person at a later date, I certainly will do what I can to do that. Um, However, it sucks. It sucks to hurt innocent people, essentially. And I'm not happy about that, but it was the decision I felt like I needed to make at that time. And what's done is done. Um, yeah, I really don't know what the future holds, but I'm trying to make some changes in my life, man. I'm really, I'm, well, I don't want to talk about all the changes I'm trying to make, but I think you might start seeing a new me pretty soon. Today I have the day off. I have the kids taking my son to the Sun Devils football game tonight. We got some tickets, so that should be okay. It'll be a new experience for him. We went to a Suns game once. He kind of liked that. We'll see what he thinks about the Sun Devils. It's nice that it's in the evening, so the sun will have gone down, because the sun can get real hot in some of those games. Tomorrow, my dad, we're seeing for his birthday, breakfast. So we're going to have to try to find him some kind of gift today. I don't know what we're going to do about that. He's a difficult guy to shop for. He's got a lot of stuff already. But we'll see if we can come up with something. The financial markets are... we're in some trouble here with the Fed, man, because these markets are rolling over. These high rates, they can't withstand them, and the bond market's selling off consistently, and that's putting pressure downwardly on the other markets. I'm still a believer in gold. I know it's sold off with this market sell-off, but that's because people still don't understand gold. They don't realize that gold is the safe haven. if you want safety, the thing you're going to buy is gold. And that is true right now, and it's going to become more and more true as this unfolds, because the bond market is not safe. The bond market is collapsing. There's air coming out of the bubble, and it's not a safe place to park your money. If you're holding these US bonds, you can expect your purchasing power to diminish by holding them. Gold is where safety is, and that story will become apparent at some point. At some point, the demand for safety will overcome the liquidation from the higher interest rates and the knee-jerk reactions that are happening. I don't know at what point that happens, but I know that the bond market's going to continue to collapse until the Fed comes in and saves it. And if the Fed doesn't come in and save it, it will collapse the whole way, and it will become, well, the U.S. government has no way to pay that debt, and so we're going to be looking at a sovereign default and a complete collapse. And at this point, people are going to need safety. They're going to be panicking like you've never seen. And that's when you're going to see gold break out to levels you never could have imagined. And other commodities will break out too, because people are going to be buying up whatever is available to buy up. Physical value. There's going to be a big bid for physical value, because all these dollars that have been printed over all these years are going to be in the hands of all these people who have sold all this stuff, and where are they going to put that money? And gold is where that money's going to go, and it's gonna become money, and we're going to need a whole reset. And in my book, I go through and I discuss this. I'm working on my second edition. I got a chance to work on it a bit last weekend, but there's still a lot of work to do. It's going to be, I think, quite an improvement. It's going to be quite something. And it's a work in process. I only have so many hours in the day. I got a lot of other things that I'm working on, but I feel optimistic about that process. I think if I don't get that second edition done by the end of this year, I'll be surprised. I think I can get it done, It's yeah, it's looking good. So I'm just kind of carrying on here, man. I know I don't post much on here anymore. I know in the past I've been sad. I've been lonely and all this type of jazz. And it is sad to be disconnected from people who we once felt connected with. I think that is probably the source of the sadness. There's that, and there is a longing for that connection. But having said all that, I have a good life, man. And, people have baggage, man. People have a lot going on. And, in some ways, it's kind of nice right now that I kind of can earn my own money. I can do my own thing and not have to worry about a partner, not have any commitments, just kind of be free to do my own thing. And I kind of like that. I like having that freedom. I like that aspect of it. Someday, hopefully my schedule will free up more to where I feel like, I've cut out things in my life that I feel are more entertainment than productive. And so I cut out my improv class. I thought about going this week to just say hello, but I didn't hear back, and I just decided not to. Sometime I might do that, but I can't really commit to the full thing right now, and I don't think I'd have much to offer a romantic partner in the way of time right now either, I do have other things that I want to be doing, and but you know that can change. That can change real quick, and projects can be completed, objectives can be accomplished, and I really don't know, dude. But you know, I'm gonna trust God. I'm gonna trust that there is this kind of divine plan, this divine guidance, guiding this universe along, um, in a way that joy eventually will be manifested. Um, I do believe that, and you know, I see glimpses of it. You know, God reminds me at times when I am really in my head. You know, I have interactions with people, man. All over the place, man. Wherever I go, I'm having good interactions and healthy interactions, and you know, it feels like good things are happening locally, good things are happening near me, while a lot of bad things are happening out there, happening in the world. But all of that bad stuff that's happening in the world, that's all beyond my control. I can't change the world from the outside in. I have to change from the inside out. You know, I have to take care of myself, and then the people who are really in my locale, who are friends, who are family, who are nearby in the vicinity, the local community, the local businesses, you know, and it spreads out from there. You know, you set an example, how, you know, here people pick up on it, it spreads, and there's a lot of really cool things happening locally, man. The Army, I guess, was doing some drills here this week. For some reason, they felt like Phoenix, Peoria was a good location to do some training, and the police put out a notification that they'd be doing that. You know, our little patch of land here in the desert, you know, Arizona's got some of the most loosest gun control laws in the country, and we got a very heavily armed group here of people, and maybe that concerns people, maybe that frightens people, but it shouldn't, man, because you know, when I walk around, I feel better, you know, because if someone is up to no good and someone starts causing a problem, I feel like there's a better chance that there's going to be someone with a concealed weapon that's going to be able to come in and save the day. So I like it. Um, and if it makes you uncomfortable, this probably just isn't the place for you to live, man. You know, there's blue cities, there's gun-free zones, there's Canada. Um, you know, there are places, and yeah, go there. So, God, man, I think about some of those places, Los Angeles. Um, you think about this economic collapse, man. I mean, this is going to be no joke, man. I mean, you're talking about people literally having no food, no power, um, just millions of fucking people. Um, it's going to get real fucking ugly unless some intelligent people take command of the government and um, what's been going on, and figures out how to use the resources that are still available to prevent the famine and the starvation and the violence that is on our doorstep. in my book, which you've already got the first edition available, I do walk through a lot of ideas about how to do this and how to transition to a free world. Um, I talk about a debt reset. Basically, I would like to propose the idea of an emotional debt reset, which is all the hatred, all the resentment, everyone's done all this bad shit. What if we just said, we're gonna set it, we're gonna say everyone has a clean slate one fucking time. We're gonna start new because we weren't doing things right. Now we're gonna do things right, and the good things that you've done in the past, your noble work should be appreciated, recognized, respected. If you're trustworthy, that's going to help you with your initial reputation. But maybe the bad shit we just forget about and we just say, maybe you haven't established a reputation yet. Maybe, I don't know, man. I mean, it's an ideal. It's a lot to ask. I know there's a lot of hatred, but in my experience, hatred hasn't been helpful. It's a destructive thing. It's something that I ask God to take from me when it arises. And it's not something I want to live with. I don't want to live under the threat of violence. I want to live in a world that is compassionate and kind and peaceful. So it's just something I want to throw out there. But it's Saturday, just kind of bumming around the house until the football game tonight. So hope you guys have a good weekend.